Yesterday, I'm Ubering as I usually do, and I pick up a fellow named Rodney. All right, pick him up from the hospital, slightly annoyed that he was late for his ride, but I mean, whatever. It was a good paying ride, so I pick him up. I'm starting to drive him to his location, and then I ask him because he worked at the hospital, right? I'm like, do you guys do both blood and urine tests for STDs? Because I'm just trying to find one place that does both so I don't have to keep flopping around, in the town. For those of y'all that get STD tests, y'all know the issue. For those of y'all that don't, well, if you should if you don't, if you're sexually active, but when you start, you'll learn that certain locations only do one or the other, and it's actually hard to find a location that does both in one go. So it's like, this hospital doesn't, but the one down at Sinai does. I'm like, I bet. So he's like, you look familiar. I'm like, wait a minute, Rodney? From around the way? Oh shit, I ain't seen this guy in like 6, 7 years. I grew up with this guy, right? But I stopped living around that area at 15. I saw him one other time when I stopped living around there, when he was at the gym at Fitness Evolution, now called Planet Fitness. But that was like 6, 7 years ago. And I'm like, oh shit, man, how's it been? We got each other's numbers, and we were reminiscing. Now, the main reason I'm bringing this guy up, and I told him when I saw him, like, I mention you all the time. Like, I don't know if you follow this red pill shit, but they're lying to people and saying you need looks, money, and status. You being a living example of a guy who's short, no money, no status. The dude is we're 28 years old, right? He's the same age as me. He's only just now getting his driver's license, and he's got a 3-year-old daughter. Yeah. I might bring him on my channel and interview him and have him fucking be a real life example of why the red pill and the black pill is wrong. Looks, money, and status is bullshit. Even if you want to argue that he looks good facially, the dude, according to you red pillars and black pillars, if you're 5'5" like this motherfucker is, it's over, right? Bullshit. He fucked half the neighborhood. The chicks. He fucked half the chicks in the neighborhood, right? And he would be shorter than his fucking girlfriends. We were fucking 14, 15 years old. He was fucking half the neighborhood. Dude was shorter than all the fucking chicks around that neighborhood, man. Had no fucking money. Had no fucking status. Motherfucker at 28 doesn't even have a car. Still fucking bitches. Like, it's crazy. Well, it's not crazy to me. See, and this leads into my opening points about this video, because I'm going to cover several things. Some viewers, my channel is not about bashing specific ideologies. My video is about bashing all ideologies because they're all wrong. Now, but specifically, I've been tackling the red pill shit lately. And, a couple of people have commented, well, what about the 80-20 rule and, blah, 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 right? So I'm going to cover all that. But I wanted to present that opening story because I'm gonna be using several people like this guy as references in this video. Now, people argue all the time, well, Chris, these are just exceptions, special exceptions to the rule. You can't use them to prove the rule wrong. Well, actually, guys, the truth never contradicts. So if you're gonna make the statement that you need looks, money, and status to get chicks, like the red pill often does, and the black pill, they go a step further and say looks maxing, right? If it's true, there will be no contradictions. Now, I want you guys to... So first, I'm gonna just tackle the myth that women are hard to get in the first place. Now, why do men in 2022 have this false misconception that women are hard to get? Now, me and Rodney, we grew up in the 90s, which isn't that far in the past. But during our conversation, we were talking like, yeah, like we are really the last generation of kids that actually went outside and socialized and had fun. You know, we're like the last generation before the social media age. And it's crazy to think that Generation Z isn't that much younger than us, but yeah, like my generation was the last generation to where, in order to even get bitches, you had to go out, you had to walk up to chicks and talk to them. You didn't have Tinder, Instagram. I mean, Instagram was just coming out, but you didn't really have social media to where you could just sit in the house all day and not talk to chicks, right? A lot of people, especially after COVID now, a lot of people, at least in the West, they have gotten so used to sitting at home that their only source of chicks is the internet. Now, unfortunately for these guys, you know, pulling chicks online and pulling chicks through dating apps and, you know, online methods, indirect communication, pulling chicks through these methods is significantly harder than pulling them in real life. The black pillars are wrong when they say looks is the only thing that matters, because guess what? If you match a chick on Tinder or a chick sees your message on Instagram, etc., guess what? You still need to open your fucking mouth. A woman can be physically attracted to you and still reject you. This is what the black pillars don't understand. However, in order to get matches on these apps in the first place, yes, you either have to be physically attractive to women or you have to be a photoshopping god, right? And I had to emphasize be attractive to woman because these black pillars don't understand what women are attracted to. Example, I get made fun of all the time by guys about my hair, but the women love it. Why do the women love it, right? They're not looking at my jawline. They're looking, okay, this guy's African American. Oh shit, there's not many African Americans that have hair like this guy. Oh shit, he's exotic. Women have a different thought process when it comes to physical attraction. But even when women find me physically attractive, guess what? I gotta open my fucking mouth and make the move. Or if it's through online means, I gotta send text messages. And guess what? Sending the wrong text message can turn a woman off. However, the main reason I'm highlighting how difficult the internet game is because in the West, this has become the main method to how people get chicks. A lot of men, especially in America, they're not really going out and meeting chicks naturally like they should. If they're serious about getting chicks, they really need to be leaving the house and just interacting with chicks in their everyday life. The grocery store, work, walking around at the park, etc. Because again, unless you're good looking or unless you have insane photoshopping skills or unless you hire a professional photographer, it's going to be very difficult for you to get matches with online communication in the first place. And you kind of need to match a chick to talk to her online in the first place. Versus in real life, while you're out and about, you're feeling like it's much easier to trigger a woman's emotions in person than it is through digital communication. And that right there is the secret. Women are emotional. This is something that the red pill and black pill forget. Women are emotional. Some people complain about this, but this is honestly what makes them easy to control. If you know how to trigger a woman's emotions, she's yours forever. But getting back to the points, this myth that women are hard to get perpetuates due to the type of society we live in, at least in the West. In the West, again, a lot of people, especially after COVID, most of their source is the internet. But the internet is the absolute hardest place to successfully pull and smash women. Because there's a lot of guys sitting around on the internet and there's a few women that check their messages every now and then. And guess what? They're only going to reply to men that are either offering them something or men that they feel like are the most physically attractive to their emotions, that makes them feel a certain way. That's why, again, man, if you want a fucking Instagram model, you're better off just meeting her in real life, naturally, organically, and shooting your shot in real life when she's not comparing you to all the other thousands and millions of guys in her DM. You know, if you meet her at the grocery store, she's only comparing you to any men she physically sees around your proximity, which can allow you to stimulate her emotions better. And I'm going to use some math to prove why women being hard to get is a myth, especially when you leave the house and you're going out and about and you see a lot of people that are not chads, a lot of people that don't have looks, money, and status, you know, with hot, attractive girls. So we're going to break down some math, right? We're going to call this second point B, right? You know, 2.B or whatever. Most of the people that are watching this video, most of the people in the world that were born into this world, most of y'all were born from males that are average in looks or below average in looks, who have average income or below average income, some of which who still lived with their mom when they birthed you, others who still live with their mom after you became adults. So average and below average men in terms of looks, money, and status, most of y'all were born from these men. We have 8 billion, about to be 9 billion people on the planet right now, and most of these people were born to average and below average men in terms of looks, money, and status. The main reason I keep emphasizing how the game has, you know, changed, mostly due to the men, you know, becoming weaker, becoming too afraid to walk up to women and talk to them now in real life, so they just sit around on the internet all day. This is mostly a problem in the West because out in China, India, countries that have the highest population, the men still got to go out and interact with women, and that's how they're getting busy. You know, it's ironic that the black pillars say that Indian men and Chinese men are like the least physically attractive men on planet Earth, but they got the most chicks. They're fucking the most. Like, both of those countries got over 1 billion people. And we already know most of these Indians and Chinese people ain't got no money or status. So if the black pillars say they're at the bottom in terms of looks, and because of the mega inflation in those countries having over 1 billion people, they're probably at the bottom in terms of money and status, yet we know they're having the most sex because their countries have the biggest population on planet Earth, right? This is why the 80-20 rule is bullshit, right? It's basically the myth by the Red Pill that says 20% of the men are fuck. Who in the world is sexing me? Hang on. Might be the chick I'm seeing Saturday. It is the chick I'm seeing Saturday. See? Know what I'm saying? And then the chick I've been messaging on Instagram is asking me, what am I doing? I'll reply to both of them later. So, see, I get busy even while making videos. But anyways, it's the myth that 20% of the men are fucking 80% of the women, right? 150 years ago, we barely had a population of 1 billion. So how the fuck did the population increase 8-fold if only 20% of the men are fucking 80% of the women? See, sometimes you guys just have to sit down and just use your critical thinking skills for a couple of seconds. We would not have 8 billion people on the planet if only 20% of the men were fucking 80% of the women. We would not have an 8-fold increase in the human population if only 20% of the men are fucking 80% of the women. The truth does not contradict. Men that get bitches that don't have the looks, money, or status, these guys are not the exception like these controlled opposition, red pill, black pill fuckers are trying to sell to you. These guys are the norm. You, the person watching this video right now, you were born to a man that doesn't have money, that doesn't have status, that doesn't have looks. And all of you fuckers know this. Okay? You don't gotta be Dwayne The Rock Johnson to fuck bitches. And guess what? The truth doesn't contradict. Take a look at all the Hollywood stars that have been getting divorce raped, right? They got the looks, money, and the status, but because they don't have the game, they still get fucked. Just saying. So anyways, women are not hard to get. People think women are hard to get because they're only trying to get women through the hardest method of getting women. And Men are just too afraid to just go outside and approach organically and meet women naturally like their Chinese and Indian brethren are doing, the countries that have the biggest populations in the world. You know what I'm saying? Now, the true reason people were incels, well, hold on. Let me pause this real quick as I want to reply to those chicks. Because, you know, I like validating women because when you validate women and you make them see that they're on your level, they play less games and they do less bullshit. So I'm going to validate those two chicks by giving them a quick reply. Then I'm going to come back and address my next point. All right, sorry about that. Now, getting back to my point. So, what's the true reason people were incels right now? Because it's a combination of everything that I just said, right? This generation of people, they grow up essentially, especially if they started going to school after COVID, right? They grow up with real life social interactions, like in their proximity, being increasingly rare, to the point where they think that the only way to get chicks is through online means, right? And because they're on the internet all day, they come into crap like the Red Pill that teaches you that if you approach a woman and you don't have her give you verbal written consent, she's going to press sexual harassment charges against you and all this bullshit. So they become afraid. Oh, and speaking of the police, so they become afraid to even approach and talk to women, not understanding that talking to women in real life is actually a cheat code. It's significantly easier to get what you want from chicks just by talking to them in real life. So they're not leaving the house. They're picking the most difficult method of source to get chicks, which is the internet dating. And because you need extreme game and very good profile pictures to succeed with online game, and this is something that only a few guys have, because most guys are not like this, they come to the conclusion, oh, I'm not getting matches because of my looks. Oh my God, looks is the only thing that matters. Or, oh my God, chicks ain't replying to my Instagram messages like Andrew Tate and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and they got money and status. So, oh my God, you need money and status to get chicks. And that's not true. It was normal for guys like Rodney, the guy that I mentioned earlier in the video. I knew a motherfucker that looked like Shrek in high school. Fucked after high school. Now, you could argue this guy had status because he played basketball. Cool, right? But the dude just looked... I've seen way too many hideous fucking guys getting chicks to ever believe you need looks, money, and status to get chicks. But that's part of the problem. Because these men are not leaving the house, they're not seeing real life examples that proves them wrong. And when they see examples in their inner circle, oh, that guy's just the exception to the rule. That's bullshit, guys. The truth doesn't contradict. The truth doesn't have fucking exceptions. Okay, this is what you guys got to fucking realize, right? And, you know, recently, a popular red piller named DJ Academics, he had a meltdown, both in person, and people really want to message me while I'm making videos, both in person and on the Fresh and Fit podcast. The reason folks like him have a meltdown is because deep down inside he knows any chick that he needed money and status to get, there's some fucking broke guy living with his mom that fucked that same chick for free. Ask me how I know. I still live with my fucking mom, and I don't have a problem fucking chicks. Ask me how I know. You know what I'm saying? I got a funny story for you guys, man. You know, I may tell that in this video. I'm not sure, right? But, you know, fuck it. I'll tell the story. So, Sunday or Saturday, it was on the weekend, right? I'm fucking the chick, right? And, you know, we're going at it, right? Boom. And she says, hurry up and come, my boyfriend is coming. And she had just said, yeah, I know I'm a douchebag. I'm fucking a chick, and I know she has a boyfriend. And her boyfriend, you know, buys her dresses. Her boyfriend has money and status, right? Buys her things, right? You know, dresses, the whole 9 yards, right? I'm the broke guy by comparison. I'm the broke guy living home with his mom, right? I ain't got no These chicks don't know I got money, and these chicks don't know I have status in terms of a YouTube channel. You could argue I got the looks, but these chicks know they don't know I got money or status. So that's all I'm trying to say, man. If you follow this shit where you think you need looks, money, and status to get chicks, what's going to happen is you're going to get the looks. You're going to go to the gym. You're going to get, I mean, I lost most of my muscle because I stopped working out for a long time because I ain't have time for it, right? You know, you're going to go to the gym to get the looks. You're going to hustle to get the money. You're going to know the right people to get the status. And then, like Nina says, you're going to come home and your wife is going to be fucking the plumber that still lives home with his mom. That's why all of this shit is dangerous, guys. But people are incels because they're following this shit and they're too afraid to just go out into the real world and see the truth. See real life examples that prove all of this shit wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it really, I'm going to make a video in the future called We're Witnessing the Fall of an Empire because it's a giant trickle effect, right? Men in general have become weaker. And I made a video as men become weaker, women have to become stronger, right? A lot of the women that say that they're strong and independent, the reason they're saying that is because they have no choice. We no longer live in an era where one man can support the whole household, right? And men in general have become weaker. If you go on Reddit, you see all kinds of posts about men. Oh, my girlfriend stopped having sex with me 19 months ago. What do I do? And it's like, dude, grow some fucking balls. If your girl goes a week without fucking you, assuming she's not on her period, dump her immediately. Get another chick. But men are too afraid. Because men believe this lie that women are hard to get, the second they get a woman, they never break up with the woman when she does something disrespectful. They want to hold on to that one woman that they finally got, guys, because they believe this myth that if they lose that woman, they'll never get another one. When it's like, no, dude, there's 5 billion people. There's 5 billion women on the planet. It's not hard to get another one, but you got to leave. Again, unless you're willing to hire a professional to do your photos in, online game is, and I'm not hating on online game. A lot of my pools are from online, but I will also admit it's significantly harder than real life game, right? But, just leave the fucking house and approach chicks and don't be afraid of rejection. That's another thing. Men are incels because they take rejection personally, right? A lot of these guys that don't leave the house, whose life is the internet, they're very prideful. They're very narcissistic. They're very egotistical. They don't like any type of defeat. And I got plenty of videos talking about narcissism, right? Because the games I used to play, I used to see it all the time. Telling these people that they're wrong, it hurts their core internally. So if they get rejected one time, they remember it for 100 years. And it's ridiculous. Not understanding that people that are active in the game, they probably get rejected 100 times in a week. If they're serious about the game and, they're approaching 20, 30, 40, 50 women a week, they're getting rejected a lot in the week. But look at it this way. Let's say you approach 20 chicks and 18 chicks reject you that week. You just fucked 2 chicks that week. Do that 4 weeks. You just fucked 8 chicks that month. Do it 10 months. You just fucked 80 chicks in the year. It's a glass is half empty versus glass is half full kind of thing. If you look at it like, oh my God, I got rejected 18 times, then yeah, you're going to be an incel because your energy is going to get negative and you're going to attract what you are, which is more negative energy, which is more rejection to the point where you just never get laid. But if you look at it as the glass is half filled, oh shit, I just fucked 2 bitches this week. Oh shit, I just fucked 8 bitches this month. Oh shit, I just fucked 80 bitches this year. Women ain't hard to get, guys, but you guys got to stop following this shit. Now, why is this narrative sold in the first place? You guys see where I'm going with this. Hold on, let me reply to this chick real fast because I'm in the game, guys. Give me 1 second.
The interesting part about Fresh and Fit is they always kind of hide. They have nuggets of truth here and there, And because they have nuggets of truth, they can kind of throw in a bunch of BS, and then you just assume everything's, true, I guess, from the standpoint of guys who really don't know anything about this stuff.
And yeah, it's some people are going to dismiss it as conspiracy, but you have to look at things the way they are, right? You notice none of these ideologies it's in a way they kind of pop out of nowhere, and then once they appear, suddenly all of the big leaders are following it, and then it becomes like a massive plague. Now in 2022, it's not that world leaders are following the red pill and the black pill, but on YouTube, a lot of the biggest content creators are at least affiliated with these ridiculous ideologies, right? And if they're not directly claiming the shit, they'll have these people on their platform so that it can be seen by all, right? It comes out of nowhere, but then once it's visible, it spreads like a COVID virus, right? And this is why, again, I'm going to make that controlled opposition video and I'm going to thoroughly break that down, but I wanted to give a jab to this red pill shit that women are hard to get, and it's just, women are not hard to get, which is apparent by, again, how our population increased 8-fold in the last 150 years. 20% of men are not fucking 80% of the woman. 80% of the men are fucking 80% of the woman. Now, of course, you could argue that most men can't keep their chicks loyal. That's a different video for a different day. But as far as the real world, the average man is fucking the average woman. Incels make up a small percentage of the population. I mean, they're saying that among Generation Z, more men are virgins than ever. Even if that's true, they're not the majority, right? We do not have 8 billion, about to be 9 billion fucking people on the planet due to most men not fucking. That's mathematically impossible. That's mathematically improbable. The 20% of men would have to have 4 to 5 babies each, and all of those babies would need to live and reach adulthood in order for that ridiculous math to even make sense. And in countries like China, where they kill the firstborn child if it's not born a male, it just doesn't happen. So, the truth doesn't contradict, okay? If you make a statement and there's a contradiction, you're either lying, giving dishonest information, or you're presenting the comments in a way that isn't entirely truthful. 20% fucking 80% is a contradiction. Most men being incels is a contradiction. We have way too many people, and I'm an Uber driver, right? I've got over 2,000 rides. So I see every day these average men with hot fucking chicks. These men with no status. These motherfuckers can't even afford their own car. Some can't even afford their own house. Wasting their money on Uber every day, and they're with fucking bitches. But they have children, they're with bitches, they go out to the bars and the clubs. I'm on the front lines, guys. I'm a fucking Uber driver. I see the shit with my own eyes. I grew up in Baltimore City in the 90s and early 2000, where there wasn't a fucking Tinder or Instagram. And I saw average looking and below average looking men that still lived home with their moms, so they had no money or status. You know what I'm saying? Some of these fuckers got out of prison, and I saw these chicks, fucking half of the chicks on the block, man. So I'm going to just wrap this video up with my closing thoughts now, because I think I've more than hammered the points. Guys, if you're serious about getting more chicks, you have to abandon these false ideologies. The red pill is bullshit. The black pill is bullshit. It's all controlled opposition to keep you away from the truth, to keep you guys fighting each other over the scraps, while those that rule over you get away with what they're doing with impunity. Because think about logically, what has the red pill actually done? More people are depressed than ever, men and women, right? Red pill was made directly to counter feminism. Feminism teaches men to hate, teaches women to hate men. The red pill teaches men to hate women. So men and women hate each other. They're fighting each other over nothing. They're not unifying, and they're not seeing the obvious universal truth. And it's sad that there's nobody on YouTube right now directly saying why this shit is wrong, but that's okay. I'll fucking do it, right? People were too afraid to tackle the 80-20 rule. No problem. I'll fucking tackle it, right? So that's it, guys. I'll catch y'all in the next video, and please stop listening to this shit. Peace.